Now at 5, Jasper County officials hold a ribbon cutting to celebrate the opening of a new courts building. Plus, why a popular outdoor spot in Allen County, Kansas could see some changes. And
it's been 2 years since the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. I'm Deborah Alfarone with how this dark day in democracy is being remembered, plus what's next into the investigation into what started it all.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Jasper County has a new courts building, and today they celebrated with a ribbon cutting. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The courts building opened to tours for the public until noon. The building, 633 South Pearl, has 6 courtrooms, as well as the county clerk, assessor, and collector's offices in the building. It's also home to the prosecuting attorney and court administration. Judge David Moten says it's time for an update.
The Joplin Courts building has needed replaced for many years. I wasn't sure it would happen in my lifetime, but the people of Jasper County have come through on this and other large projects recently, and it's just amazing.
The courts can be running and open to the public starting on Monday. A Joplin-based eating disorder program is receiving some national attention. Freeman's Ozark Center says a representative to New York, they sent one to promote its Reconnect program at a conference. The program takes a coordinated team approach to treating patients in an outpatient setting. Officials say that approach better serves rural communities that don't have access to traditional treatment centers and hope to see it replicated elsewhere.
We want to start sharing the story of what we've been doing here. We're the first program in the nation that we're aware of to build a program like this in a community mental health center, making sure that people that don't have insurance or don't have enough insurance have access to life-saving treatment. And so we want to start telling our story and making sure that other communities know that this is possible.
According to the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, 9% of the U.S. population suffers from an eating disorder. Iola Lake in Iola, Kansas has had a change in their long-term lease with a local organization. Iola Elks has been partnering with Iola Industries for the lease of the lake, also known as Elks Lake, for 40 years. Last June, the Elks received a letter from Iola Industries stating they're terminating the lease on December 31st. Any property from the Elks had to be removed, leaving the lake in its original condition. Todd Francis with the Elks Club says they're disappointed about the decision.
We had worked well with Iola Industries over the 40 years. We had actually been able to develop the property to a point where it was very popular, not only among local members, but also for the town of Iola and local area, and then also in the statewide it was well known.
Iola Industries has told the Elks they appreciate the partnership and development the Elks have done for the lake. Francis says they're looking to partner with whoever Iola Industries decides to work with. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, a lot of clouds outside for us today, but temperature is pretty good. Most of us have climbed into the mid-50s, 51 in Nevada, we have 54 in Neosho, Miami 55, Pittsburgh is sitting at 53 degrees, and it really looks like we're going to stay fairly mild throughout the overnight hours. We got these southeasterly winds kicking in at about 10 to 15 across the region. But here are the clouds. You can see some light little showers, mainly drizzle in our southern counties, and we are going to see pockets of drizzle starting to pick up in our area as we get mainly after midnight for us tonight. Not a huge deal, light showers, drizzle starting to pick up. So here's 9 p.m. We can go to about midnight or so, little pockets of light drizzle. And this is what we're going to see as we go through the first half of the weekend. Temperatures eventually drop back into the mid-40s. We'll talk more about this system and what it means for your weekend here in just a bit.
All right, see you then. The House of Representatives has adjourned until 9 tonight as Kevin McCarthy gets closer to a majority of votes to become Speaker. McCarthy was able to flip 14 Republicans who had voted against him, but there are still 6 holdouts. 2 of them would need to flip for McCarthy to win a majority. While the House is adjourned, Republicans will continue negotiations to get those final votes. Lawmakers are pausing to remember a dark day in U.S. history. It was 2 years ago today that a mob of rioters staged a deadly attack on our U.S. Capitol. As a result of the events, the lives of 5 officers were lost. 140 officers were seriously injured that day. Reporter Deborah Alfarone has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Members of Congress gathered to mark the 2nd year since the U.S. Capitol insurrection.
Brian David Sicknick.
The names of 5 officers who were lost as a result of the tragic events were read, and another officer who was killed at a Capitol checkpoint.
Officer Billy Evans.
A moment of silence followed in tribute to the 140 officers who were seriously injured defending democracy.
We will never forget their sacrifice, and we will never forget this day.
We the people honor U.S. Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards.
At the White House, President Biden honored some of the officers there that day. He also recognized election workers who became targets of harassment and local officials who affirmed the results of the election.
We honor a remarkable group of Americans who embodied the best before, during, and after January the 6th, 2021.
There were few arrests on January 6, but the FBI moved fast, seizing cell phone records and compiling thousands of hours of video in what may be the most documented crime in U.S. history. At least 950 people have been charged so far, nearly half of whom have either pleaded guilty or been convicted.
These people are not going to take it any longer.
Former President Trump could also face charges after an 18-month probe. The U.S. House January 6 committee referred him to the Justice Department for prosecution, alleging he incited the insurrection. Trump denies any wrongdoing and has already launched his campaign to run for president in 2024. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The estate of U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died a day after the riots, has sued former President Trump for wrongful death. Some more encouraging news today from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is talking to his family and care team. The 24-year-old surprised teammates with a video call during their morning meeting. Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the football field Monday, but was quickly resuscitated with CPR and defibrillation. The Bills will be wearing a special number 3 patch this weekend in support of Hamlin as other tributes take place all across the NFL. Still ahead, breaking down the newest jobs numbers.
The latest job report is stronger than expected, even as some industries lay off workers. I'm Jared Hill with a look inside the numbers.
And next in Health Watch, scientists are warning of a new COVID subvariant that could be the most transmissible yet. Topping today's Health Watch, it's a big step in the fight against Alzheimer's. The FDA granted accelerated approval for the drug lecanemab. It's one of the first experimental dementia drugs that appears to slow the progression of cognitive decline. The director of the Office of Neuroscience in the FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research said the treatment targets the underlying process of Alzheimer's instead of only treating symptoms. New research suggests a rare liver disease, once thought to be incurable, can be cured after all. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found a new drug called Nora-1 can reverse Alagille syndrome, a genetic disorder affecting 4,000 babies a year. More testing is needed before the drug is available to the public. Scientists are warning a new Omicron subvariant might be the most transmissible one to date. Doctors are urging Americans to protect themselves with the latest booster shot. Reporter Michael George has details.
A new year and a new COVID subvariant is driving up COVID-19 cases. The World Health Organization is calling XBB.1.5 the most transmissible subvariant detected yet.
It does have a growth advantage above all of the other subvariants so far. We don't have any data on severity yet or on the clinical picture.
New CDC data shows cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are trending upward at a time of year when hospitals are feeling the strain.
Our ER is at full capacity, and so is our hospital with critical care beds.
With about 1/4 of Americans living in high COVID-19 counties, the CDC is urging indoor masking in New York, Miami, Boston, and Fort Worth.
So I try to just keep going and do what I need to do to try to stay safe.
Experts say the #1 thing people can do is get that latest booster.
The new bivalent vaccine, this is the new one that we updated in September, does seem to provide a good degree of protection against infection and terrific protection against serious illness.
U.S. officials are also concerned about the growing COVID crisis in China and a lack of information sharing.
One of the things that China is not doing is sharing its genomic surveillance data. Every other country does.
Officials say that withholding makes it harder for the scientific community to spot new variants as they emerge. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The Paxlovid antiviral is believed to be effective against the new subvariant for patients whose doctors recommend that treatment. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, why another classic retail store could be in danger of having to declare bankruptcy.
Plus a little bit of rain in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Those details coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a warmer day for us today, but cloudy. It's Friday, though, which is always good news. We are going to start to get a little bit of drizzle and even a few showers starting to pick up late tonight and then into the daytime hours tomorrow. Most of us are going to be dry this evening, but you can definitely see the clouds outside. Of course, Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our temps. 50 in Cassville, 55 in Miami, a little bit cooler Iola at 47. We have Carthage at 54. These light southeasterly winds, which have been kicking in across the region, and these will keep our temperatures up just a little bit as we go through the overnight hours. But clouds thickening, which you can see, 7th range line, 54 southerly winds at about 10. Humidity is at 35%. As we go through the evening, we'll slide back into the 40s, overnight low of 44. Drizzle developing mainly late this evening and especially after midnight. So far, you can see the clouds and you can see the radar lighting up just a little bit. Most of this is not reaching the ground or is very light drizzle. You can see this down through northwestern Arkansas, parts of Jay, just south of Jay, Oklahoma, and then a little pockets of drizzle once you get over toward Monette and also Cassville. So not a big deal. If you are going to be out tonight, most of you are going to be dry, but as this weak system kind of develops a little bit more, that is what is going to give us the drizzle and a few showers later on tonight. So rain chances low, but you can see they're consistent all the way through tomorrow. And this is because we're going to have drizzle. So we are going to have pockets of drizzle and light showers as we go through the day. All right, let's go through time. Look at the light showers and drizzle picking up. So here's midnight. Let's go into the morning hours, just kind of spotty light showers, drizzle. Most of us sitting into the mid 40s. As we continue through the day, we're going to stop at the noon hour, light showers, light drizzle, so kind of a crummy day tomorrow. As we get into the afternoon, light showers, light drizzle continues. Could even mix with a little bit of snow if you head north toward Kansas City, but you can see our temperatures mid 40s across the region. Tomorrow night, this will start to rotate out. We're still going to have the clouds kind of sticking around into Sunday morning, but I do think we'll get sunshine once we get into Sunday afternoon. Not a bad day. High temps into the upper 40s by Sunday afternoon. Here's your day planner tomorrow. Pockets of drizzle all day long. High temp 49, starting at 46, 47 by noon, backing down to about 43 late in the day. All right, let's go down the road. Monday looks okay. We do have a weak wave on late Monday into Tuesday. Besides that, we look pretty good. Our next bigger storm system, this is going to roll out by Thursday. Showers, may even get some thunderstorms, and depending on the track of this system, could get a little bit of light snow on the backside, but that's our next bigger system that we're going to keep our eyes on. It's still 6 days away. 49 tomorrow, 49 on Sunday, back to 56 Monday, 48 Tuesday, near 60 on Wednesday. Showers, thunderstorms Thursday, a little bit cooler. We go into next weekend, then it picks up again that following Monday. That's when our pattern really starts to pick back up again.
Okay, so we will see what it develops in about 6 days with that active stretch.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, John. Coming up, a better than expected jobs report. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Frank Owlsley served in the U.S. Army from 1968 to 1971. The Joplin native was stationed in Vietnam. And we salute Specialist Frank Owlsley, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, parts of the economy are weakening, but a new job report shows the job market's just fine. Reporter Jared Hill explains why.
U.S. companies continued to hire at a healthy pace in December. The leisure and hospitality industry brought on 67,000 workers. Healthcare employment increased by 55,000, and construction added 28,000 jobs. Overall, the economy picked up a better than expected 223,000 jobs last month. The unemployment rate fell to 3.5%. But even though the overall job market is solid, some industries are downsizing.
We are seeing job losses in the higher paid white collar positions in areas like technology or in banking and finance.
Amazon announced 18,000 layoffs this week, joining other online giants who let tens of thousands go last year.
I was not expecting to be laid off.
In November, Nick Zerman found out he would no longer be working at Meta, the parent company of Facebook.
At like 6 in the morning, I get this email, unfortunately, you've been part of the layoffs.
But there is good news for people like Zerman. According to a ZipRecruiter survey, about 79% of laid-off tech workers are able to find a new job within 3 months. Zerman actually started his own business called Newlink. It's a blockchain-based payment company, and he's hired his own workers.
We opened operations 3 weeks ago. So I'm very happy.
Plenty of other businesses need new employees. A report earlier this week showed there are 10.5 million job openings, which means there are more available jobs than people who are unemployed. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The report also shows earnings rose to $28.07 an hour on average. Southwest says its recent service meltdown over the holidays is going to cost the airline at least $725 million, could hit up to $825 million. In a financial filing issued today, the airline says this will cause it to report a loss in its fourth quarter. Revenue loss alone cost Southwest at least $400 million. Other costs include reimbursements, extra employee hours, and the goodwill offering of frequent flyer benefits to travelers. You might want to use that 20% off Bed Bath & Beyond coupon soon. The company admitted in a regulatory filing probably won't be able to continue operating as is. The filing says the chain is exploring possibilities and a bankruptcy filing is among them. That goes along with what analysts have been predicting for some time. Peloton has agreed to pay $19 million for failing to report unsafe treadmills and distributing recalled treadmills. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it's one of the largest civil penalties in its history. It's largely due to Peloton originally declining to recall its Tread Plus treadmills despite an urgent request. No comment yet from Peloton about that fine. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Steve Hartman takes us on the road with the story of a young musician and the impact of a piano donation. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the lease changes to a popular Allen County, Kansas outdoor spot. Plus, the Kansas Attorney General announces a multi-million-dollar settlement with opioid manufacturers. And a Grove High School running back is named the Gatorade Oklahoma High School Football Player of the Year. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Weather looking okay, Douglas.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. If you're going to be out this evening, we are going to have a lot of clouds, but mainly dry. But drizzle sets in mainly after midnight, and then it's kind of dreary tomorrow. A lot of clouds, on and off drizzle, a few light showers throughout the day. Sunshine returns on Sunday, a bigger system next Thursday.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.